Sup guys, EvanForGrips.com coming at you with another video, and today we're gonna continue with the Party Poker Bankroll Challenge from $100 to $10,000. See if we can get the job done. Based on someone's advice, given that I initially built my bankroll playing sit and goes, I figured, hey, why not try these Party Poker sit and goes, see what they're all about. So I am registered for 2 double or nothing sit and goes. That's table 1 and 3, and then table 2 is a high stakes. I'm taking a shot. I'm being a little reckless here with this $22 sit and go, but I'm confident that I can win and really pad the bankroll. And then table 4 is a $5 sit and go, 10-handed. So the goal is obviously to cash as many of these as possible, and yeah, take it from there. So this $5 is about to kick off. Strategy for the double or nothings is going to be to play really tight, given that we just have to make the top 5 out of the top 10. Only going to take like the best of the best spots. Like building a big stack in a double or nothing sit and go isn't that important because the pay scale is completely flat. It's much like playing a satellite tournament. So your goal is kind of just get one double up if you can, or chip up a little bit if you can, and then just try to coast to the final 5. You know what? I'm gonna ditch the $6 double or nothing, because the double or nothings I just really find aren't that exciting, and they also are a slow, painful way to build up a roll. Rather get a little more aggro, give myself a chance to get a 5x payoff, 3x payoff, whatever. I assume in these in the 6 max that the payout is 70%, 30%. I'll find out. So no HUD for the sit and go. People's stats are less relevant in sit and goes than they are in cash games, given that you're playing with different stack sizes, you're playing with different blind levels. A lot of different factors are at play all the time. So, you know, the stats just aren't as reliable when you don't know under what circumstances they came up. Maybe someone played really loose, but it's because they had a really big stack. And then when they're short stack, they play really tight, or maybe vice versa. So I find it's better to just kind of watch the game, take notes as I go, and try to see how other people are adjusting to the dynamics that are coming up, and do the best to adjust better. So we're just waiting for one more player in the $5 sit and go, and we're waiting for one more in the $20 sit and go. And I mean, it's not the most popular time of the day to be playing, which is probably why it's taking a while to fill. I looked at these things last night in the evening, and they were just popping off like crazy. So hopefully someone will come along. Alright, $5 about to kick off. Sweet. So pocket 4s. I guess I'll limp, given that it's a double or nothing. want to take advantage of the low blind levels and actually play some hands while we have the ability to, because once blinds go up, there's just no play left. And I think I'm actually going to fold to that raise, even though I'm getting multi-way action. The chips are just really precious in this thing, and I don't think the 4's coming. Cooler. Table 4, Busto, first hand. Ouch. Come on, who's got $6? Trying to get some short-handed action in. Wow. King 9. Kind of blew it there. This replayer's not low. So he donked out, got raised, and then jammed. I mean, the pre-flop raiser's just probably not going to be bluff raising there all that often, especially in a double or nothing. So King 9 is pretty unlikely to be the best hand there. And also really just, what are you doing calling a raise with King 9 suited? Pre-flop, out of position. It's just not a recipe for success. It's a recipe for exactly what happened. Losing some chips. Just fold on table 2, stay out of trouble. It's possible we can get re-raised. Oh shit, what a flop, a 2-pair. But we would have had to pay. We would have to pay 2 B's to see that. That's just not our style. It's just not our style. So as I mentioned in the Pacific Poker video, general strategy in sit and goes is to play reasonably tight in the early stages, build up a tight image, and then capitalize on that tight image when the blinds are big in later stages by trying to get away with some steals when the blinds are worth picking up. However, if you do identify someone to be a really bad player and you have some, close spots with some hands that could be profitable against them, in the early stages when the blinds are low, it's worth getting involved with these weak players so that you can have the best chance to chip up early and get that dead money before someone else does. I think that's even more applicable in multi-table tournaments where building a big stack is so important. This guy's just making it 9x like Aberim from Denmark on table 3. That's someone who we're going to be willing to adjust our calling ranges to, because he is just... Actually, my mother said if you don't have anything nice to say about someone, don't say anything at all. So my lips are sealed. And being fully responsible, I probably should have played only the $5 sit and goes, maybe the 10s, skip the 20. But for the sake of the video, The 20 was about to fill, and it didn't look like the other ones had a lot of potential, so I just figured better to get some action and, go a little aggro with the challenge than to play it safe. Okay, top pair here, table 4. Pretty likely to be the best hand. His limping range doesn't really consist of overpairs to the board, so we could have his pocket pairs beat. We could have, like a hand like ace 4, ace 3 beat, 5, 6, which made a straight. But I'm going to fire one more bet just to protect my equity, try to get some value. He could also have me out kicked, but I think overall we have the best hand more often than we don't have the best hand, so good to just take the lead there. If we start that hand by checking the flop, it's pretty hard for us to win the pot. We could check call, then he gets 2 free shots to improve, because if he has nothing, he'll just check back the turn when we inevitably check to him again. Blind versus blind. Connected hand. Good enough to raise. Vichy. You guys will also notice that I didn't play the turbos. If you're going to play sit and goes and you're trying to build a roll, please don't play turbos. It's just way too high variance, and you really don't get much time to use your edge whatsoever because it's just shallow almost right out of the gate. These regular speed sit and goes with 2K starting stacks, 10-minute levels, they're perfectly fine. You get a good amount of play in them. I'm not sure what the blind structure is, but I'm imagining it goes 20-40, 30-60, 40-80, 50-100. Then the question is whether it goes 61-20 or what? What is going on table 1? I bet 40. I bet 2,000. What? The Russian. Strong play from an Russian. 6x raise from German. I find in sit and goes, when dealing with the triple threat, that aggression trumps. Like if you're only going to have 2 of the 3 between position, aggression, and selection, and if you haven't watched that video yet, please watch the triple threat, as it is some really good poker strategy. What are you doing, 9-10? Hopefully we'll get the rest of his 1,000 here. Yeah, definitely watch the triple threat, as it's a very important video for your foundation as a poker player. I'm just going to make this massive. Blitzcracker has shown that he's pretty wild, so he probably will just call, even though it's a really big raise. Nope. He showed me. Could be an over-adjustment without perfect information, but... And we got one out in the double or nothing. One step closer to making 10 bones. These double or nothings are a nice low variance way to play. If you want to make your money last as long as possible, double or nothing's probably the way to go. It's not the most exciting form of poker, but it doesn't mean it can't be fun. That doesn't mean you can't make money playing them. Big all in on the double or nothing. Wow. And just like that, we're pretty much on the bubble. Arbor and my man. I have 30 big blinds. Just gonna protect. I don't really particularly want to play a pot, so with Arbor having a deep stack, if I make it small, he can peel because he's got so many chips behind, so I just want to give him no incentive to call. We're so close to the bubble, this isn't a strong enough hand to trap. I'm just gonna jam. Calling also works because I keep in his weaker aces and weaker kings, but then I risk playing a multi-way pot, which is not what I'm trying to do right now. I recognize that this is a ridiculously large shove, but I don't want to give him room to 4-bet all in and, go up against an 8-7 suited on a spot. Well, kind of like that. But he wanted to give me the action. Okay, so with this stack and the double or nothing, plan is probably pretty much to just fold our way to the money now. We got the one double up we needed, so no need to tangle anymore. No fear, pocket queens. Blitzcracker is a weird player. I guess he's very aggressive post flop, but not too silly pre-flop. Rare combination for sure. And what I hope to show in this video is that you don't really need to do anything too fancy to have success in these sit and goes. You can really just play solid and get the job done. Even at the higher stakes, just having a really, really solid foundation and understanding of how these things work is enough. You don't need to get into fancy plays and crazy leveling wars and stuff. It's just really not required for being successful in these. So if you had it in your head that you thought that was a requirement, you can now let that go. ABC is plenty enough to win the monies in SNGs. Yeah, go ahead, man. Ooh, we got a little strat. Little Ben Stratty. Got to build up that bankroll, man. Sit and go challenge.
It's a pretty jarring board right there.
Yeah. Worst river ever.
Lead 3/4 pot. Oh, he's in position.
I'm just gonna bet small. Try to block bet him.
Yep.
Although I don't know what. I guess I beat a king. Yeah, not calling that. No way.
Play any other way at these stakes.
ABC wins the SNGs, right? Alright. As you guys can probably figure out from the lack of dialogue, I don't find sit and goes as exciting as cash games. But once we get deeper, it becomes more exciting. It's just in the early stages, it's pretty basic, straightforward play, so nothing too fun. Interested to see what Marconi's got here. Shoving in 10 big blinds. Not much. Not enough. Double or nothing, we'll see cheap flops, but I'm not really trying to isolate and hammer on people because I'm not trying to build a stack, I'm just trying to maintain. Or if I can flop like a really nutty hand, then I'll go for a double up. But I'm just trying to play really small pots. Like, even if Broda had called there on table 3, I probably wouldn't have even bothered fold or calling. I gotta get past 2 more people. Cooler on table 2. Although it is a lot of big blinds to be getting in with ace queen. You really want to avoid flips in the early going of these things. Really try to play post flop if you can. Alright. I will disguise my hand on table 1 and check back the ace. You bet you win. Well, given that he's folded to our ISOs before on table 1, I'm going to isolate with the ace-2 suited. But I'm going to play cautious. Keep it small, Blitzy. Checks. Just check. A small amount of showdown value. I just don't know if he's check folding. So just take the free card. And that puts us ahead of ace queen and ace jack. I don't imagine that's what he's holding though. Keeping the investments to a minimum. Your stack is very precious in sit and goes. You can't be bleeding chips away. I was thinking a 3-bet call off on table 1, but then I realized I should probably take my own advice. Full pot makes me think he probably has a hand, but we have an overpair, and we beat a bunch of hands too. So this is where we're going to have to take our edge. That is not a good turn. God. Now we don't beat anything except for flush draws. Even 9s, the pair that we were most ahead of now has a straight 2 pair. I mean, gross. But better to fold and stay in the game, even if it is with only 12 big blinds, than to call off, drawing potentially dead, or very few outs, and have no chance at staging a comeback. You can't make those frustration calls. If your read says that he might be bluffing, by all means call, but my read there was that he was probably holding a hand that smashed us, so I just have to go with that read. Table 4, we've been pretty tight, so I'm going to try to use that image and a decent hand to take the blinds. In the double or nothing, though, it's a good hand, but for this structure of tournament, there's no need to play something like that. Let's just go ahead and fold. Okay, so blinds go 30, 60 to 50, 100. That's okay. Still reasonable. Damn. Keep smashing those flops I didn't see. Alright, Jack King for 11 bigs. This is probably going in. Righty is the one guy I didn't want to raise. If Blitz raised, I would have put it in. If it folded around, I would have shoved. And I feel like righty's been playing reasonably solid, so I'm going to give him respect. Muck the King Jack. Not out of the game yet, although when the blinds go up in 1 minute, it's definitely going to be treading water. Sick cooler table too. Patience. Patience is a virtue. Go ahead, Eric, bet. What glimping hand. You'll notice that in the sit and goes, opening ranges are generally tighter than they are in cash games. It's because raising involves committing a larger portion of your stack than it does in a cash game. So you don't want to be raising unless you have a plan to, back your hand up. If I had a deeper stack, I can be raising a steal, but on 17 big blinds, I pretty much only want to raise if I'm going with the hand. Because to raise and fold is just disaster for my bottom line. Queen Jack suited, table 3 will play if folded to. For a schlimp. Alright, we'll see a flop. It's a hand that can nut the flop or get some nut potential. The more connected your cards, the more straight draws you can flop and the more nut straights you can make. So a hand like Queen Jack is infinitely better than a hand like Queen 9 in terms of its floppability. And we're going to have to assume we have the best hand and try to take down the 500 in the middle. Alright, this A6 is going in. Facing a button min raise from the small blind. We got it. God, we got ambushed. Super alright, suck out. Suck out time. Boom. Ah. So sick. Ooh. No PT4. I got a lot of people asking me which is better, hold a manager or poker tracker, hold a manager, poker tracker. And I always say hold a manager because I don't use poker tracker. But I feel like that's doing an injustice to you guys. If I'm going to recommend one product over the other, I should know that one product is superior to the other. So the only way to do that is to use both. So I bought PT4. I'm going to try it out this weekend, and let you guys know how it is. If this guy shoves on table 4, might call. Pretty decent price. 3 to win 5. So I need like 37.5%. And against anything that does not be dominated, I'm getting the right price, and I can bust a player, get us closer to the money. I have enough chips that I can afford it. And that was one of the few hands that it's a bad call against. But it really doesn't affect my chip position too much in the game. Whereas if I bust a player and I have that 2,700 chips, it's helpful. When facing decisions of whether or not to make a call off or a fold, you have to look at what will my chip position be if I fold. You know, am I going to be comfortable? Am I going to have a lot of leverage? What will my chip position be if I call and win? What will my chip position be if I call and lose? If you stand to gain a lot more flexibility by winning than you stand to lose by losing, then it's worth taking a gamble. If, however, you stand to lose a lot of flexibility but you don't stand to gain much, then it's better to just pass on those spots. And for those of you who aren't sure, what does all this chip position stuff mean? Go ahead and watch the MTT strategy guide, where I discuss what you can do with various stack sizes, and that information is applicable to sit and goes as well. You can do a lot more with a big stack than you can with a small stack, but there are certain ranges of big blinds that are comfortable, certain ones where you're handcuffed, a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry about the phone call. Guess I'm popular today. Ooh, and we're on the bubble of the double or nothing, and we're in second place in chips. That's good. That's very good. Now it's definitely not the time to be taking races. We'd be putting ourselves in very bad chip position. So I'm just going to check. I'm just playing all small pots. You want it, you got it. No problem. Pretty card dead in the $20, but that's okay. We just need to pick up some hands when it matters. Like the next blind level. No sense in trying to speculate anymore on table 3. The blinds are, starting to be meaningful, and I really just want to protect my stack. I want to just try to sit on these chips as long as possible and hope that one of the short stacks deals with adversity before I have to. Put him in the test, Aber. Put him to the test. Yeah. What up now, Eric? Eric Mueller from location doesn't pop up. Austria. Nice comeback. Table 2, Paragon. That's why you never give up. Just going to raise the ace-king. Obviously not folding if we get re-raised. This hand is much too strong to be thrown away. My reason for not open shoving is that if someone wants to, re-raise aggressively, thinking I might be stealing, I want to give them the opportunity to do that. If I just open shove, they can't try to bluff me out of the pot. They just need a hand to call. And most of the hands that are calling an open shove will also just move all in themselves. Alright, we're one step closer to the bubble on table 4. 6 players remaining. 3 places paid. I mean, it's almost 5 players remaining with how short Unbreakable is. But he could always stage a comeback. Looks like he's going to go ahead and try. Nice equity, bro. Alright. Big stack, medium stack, 3 shorter stacks. Fair distribution. Your strategy for what hands to play and how you're going to play them is completely dependent on what the various stack sizes are going into the bubble. Like if there's one big stack and 3 small stacks, and you're one of the small stacks, your play is very different than if there are 2 big stacks and 2 small stacks, and you're one of the small stacks. Like, I'm not going to open this king 7 because the big blind is the chip leader and he can just put me all in with impunity. Even if I catch him and double through him, it barely puts a dent in his stack. So he just kind of has free reign to just abuse. And as a big stack on a sit and go bubble, that's what you should be doing. Putting the pressure on people in spots where it's very hard for them to call, because caching is important. This guy's trying to trap me on table 3. Not putting in a bet. Starting to feel every hand, we're on like 2 bubbles. We still have some chips in the biggest tourney. I can feel it, my heart's beating. My hands are shaking. But I'll still click. I'll still rip it all in. Ace Jack, table 2, it's tough because he only had like 10 big blinds. It's pretty early position to be shoving with the Ace Jack though. Just close. Some of those spots, the right move is just, it's very clear what to do. Like here. It's the bubble, but I hope someone stabs small and I just check shove. Like, yeah. Alright. A lot of outs. Good sized pot out there. If I can get them both to fold, that's a really good chip up for me. Gotta gamble at some point. And I think this is too good a spot. Leading out was also an option, but then I can get raised all in and I don't want to have to call off with the 9 high. I want to give myself the most fold equity with this hand. But yeah, as I was saying, some of the plays are just, the math is there and you just do what you're supposed to do. And if you run into a bigger hand, it's just unlucky you got coolered. Okay, table four. I'm going to use the fact that I have more chips than this guy, and that he's on an awkward 10 big blind stack to attempt to steal. It's all about chip position. These things, same in multi-table tournaments. It's all about stack first stack and knowing how to make those adjustments. So I have a better hand now, and I have the button, but big blind is the big stack. So I'm just gonna pass. Trying to chip up without engaging in major confrontations that put my tournament life at risk. Here could go for a steal, but both players who have me covered are in the blinds, so it's just not worth it. And anyone who's interested in that information on pushing and folding, the book that you want to get is Kill Phil, also Kill Everyone, also Kill Elke. They're all by the same author, and they have the information for optimal shove fold in all sorts of different situations based on who has what chip stacks. I think Harrington also did a decent job of covering that in his Harrington on Hold'em series. Not the cash game one, the original tournament one. So, if this is your thing, either of those are definitely worth checking out. Pocket J's. I mean, I could raise to induce, but I mean, I have 7 big blinds. I think it's pretty obvious that if I raise with 7 big blinds, I'm not folding because I'm going to be getting such a good price. So, better to just open jam. And that's a concept that's important. A lot of people will open shove their like decent hands in tournaments, but when they get really good hands like aces, they'll just min raise or limp. And I mean, at some levels, that's fine. But if you're playing with anyone who has half a brain, they know what you're doing, and you should just keep your actions consistent. And if you're open shoving with king queen, you should be open shoving with pocket aces too. When you're on that stack size, just so that your opponents can't read you and can't gain any information about your hand based on your bet size. Ooh, pocket aces. Hope someone moves all in. It's so sick, like, there's some situations where these aces would be a fold. Like, if it goes all in, call, 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 and I'm guaranteed that one of the players is going to get busted and I'll make the money, I could actually fold aces. Like, if under the gun went all in and under the gun one called, they both have pretty much the same stack size, I might even fold because one of them's either the bigger stack wins and I'm paid, or the other guy wins and the guy has 150 chips left and I'm paid. Whereas if I call with aces, 80% of the time I will win, but 20% of the time I don't get paid. Whereas if I just let 2 even stack sizes battle it out, I get paid 100% of the time. So it would be worth it to make the fold. Crazy, right? Diamond. Damn. Blinds are getting pretty big now. Carlos and Ala are both really feeling the squeeze. And this is why it's nice that I got that early double up and I just kind of didn't play any big pots. I've maintained enough chips that I can now afford to get through a couple of rounds of blinds and just let the other guys fight it out. Defo raising these kings on table 4. Just letting Abiram do all the work on table 3. There's no need for me to get involved. Threes, 8 big blinds. I think it's too early position. Couple more seats over, I'd probably shove. Couple less big blinds, I'd probably shove. But it's just not the spot that I want to be taking. I'm trying to get through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hands. It's a lot of hands. 1 second. And we're back. Apologize for that. When you get a call from an unknown number twice, you should generally pick it up the second time if they don't leave a message. It could be important. Battle with the big stack. Oh, it cost me a lot of my chips to see bet. I'm just gonna try to check this down. Hope we have the best hand. Now we have the best hand. So now we can raise. Something callable. Let's go something stupid. Slot machine. What you had, bro? Alright, party poker sucks and I can't see. Did they even show me his hand? No. That's good for the players. You know, you don't have to feel bad about making a bad call because your opponents can't see your hand. Oh God, blinds went up. Shit. We are feeling the pinch on table 2. That's where we need it most. Hopefully we get a walk somehow. Don't see it happening, but hopefully, yeah, not gonna happen. All right, well, just got to pick up a hand next orbit. Nothing to say that can't happen. Probably going to be pretty hard to find a fold with this hand. Three big blinds. And they might be raising aggressively because of the short stack in the big blind. So, big stack raises. I got a suited ace. I got to get back in the game. I'm not going to make any money playing like this. Club. Chop. Alright. Chip up a little bit. Back in it. Gamble. Gonna put the pressure and hope that the big blind doesn't have a hand here. We're obviously getting called by the small blind, but if the big blind folds, we still pick up 160. We're risking 240 to play. Effectively, we lose 80 chips if the big blind folds. And even if the big blind calls, we have a decent hand that will have good equity against him. And if he, got dealt rags, he might just fold, and that's a really good spot for us. Perfect. We scoop. Not bad. Nice hand, bro. Nicer hand me. Yeah. We're gonna go with the 10s here. Guy's range for shoving 6 big blinds has worse pairs as well as better pairs. He's been shoving actively, so let's gamble. Nice. Alright, now we're looking good. I could put the pressure on Allah here, but 2 other short stacks behind, and if I get called off and lose there, now I'm crippled. I'd rather just maintain my position. Could run this King 8. Getting really good price on my money. All I need is the big blind to fold. There, whatever. I got sucked out. I still win a little on the side pot. It's okay. I'm not doing my image any favors right now, but that's good because maybe I'll eventually have it. But I built up that tight image earlier so that I could get credit on these shoves and be able to isolate these players. So far the plan's been working out. Most importantly, we've been running well, which is the secret ingredient to winning sit and goes. Alright, so this double or nothing's looking good. Abiram doing all the work. Got three players who are very short, really feeling the blinds. I have enough that I can just keep folding through. And unless something absurd happens, like the short stacks double up 7 times, we should be able to cash in this thing. I think I can go either way with the queen 10 suited there. You guys know sit and goes aren't my specialty, so I'm sure there's some expert who could tell you if that's a standard open or not. But I feel like, fairly early position. The fact that I'm suited doesn't add much value because there's no stacks behind to play. We are the chip leader, which works to our credit. But I really prefer to play in situations where I don't have to get through too many hands. So my odds of being successful with my steals is very high. It's a good price. Hurts my stack a bit. I'd rather keep the 800 chips. It's really a cat and mouse game at this point with everyone being so short. Okay, I got the chips, I got the queen. I gotta put the pressure on, get my blind back. Remember, it's a lot harder to find a hand to call with than it is to find a hand to shove with. I probably would have raised if folded to on table 4. Leandro's been playing pretty tight and he just doubled up. Generally when players just picked up chips, they're very averse to putting them back in play the next hand. Pro tip. Write that shit down. Make a post-it note. I don't know. How you guys liking the new microphone? Does it float your boat? Does it raise your sails? Alright, well, this is looking pretty good for the double or nothing. Hopefully this guy bets his last 40 chips. Alright, Abiram, I hope you're not totally bluffing. Queen, queen, nice hand. So, I don't know if Carlos gets the cash or if he splits it with the other guy, but followed the strategy to perfection and won 20 bucks. Whoa. What the fuck, party? Not a good time to be crashing. Dude, don't care about this. Just get me back to my tables. She. dangerous. That's why you guys should not play on partypoker.net. But as I was saying, yeah, we followed the strategy to perfection, and we cashed the double or nothing. Mission accomplished. Opening on table 4, just hoping to not get re-raised. I'm happy to play an all-in pot with the big blind. Big stack using those chips. Good stuff, bud. Can't do much. Hopefully he got counterfeit. But then he'd probably just bet. I'm folding anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Ace high is good too. King high. Don't really know why he wants to peel me with the king 10 there, but it's probably because we're playing a $5 sit and go. Everyone's getting pretty aggressive with their jamming on table 2. Ooh, nice hold. Alright, landscape changes. We are no longer the chip leader. Effectively. Ooh, and blinds go up. So there's a lot of dead money every hand now. We're going to have to shove reasonably aggressively. If we had gotten folded to here, we'd shove in 100%. The queen 10. Just got to get that 900. Can't be scared. I mean, it's pretty hard for them to pick up a hand to call. And even when they do, you guys know what happens. We win. Here with ace 5 a little different because we have more players to get through. With one player having us covered. Gonna go with the fold. Seeing him snap fold though, wish we'd have shipped it. Just need it. We just really need it in this $20. And that being said, even if we brick off, still got 81. We're in position to probably make some money in the $5 as well. So it's looking promising. We'll say that much. But if we could take down this $20, that would do wonders for this bankroll. Picking up ace queen suited always helps. If it folds to the small blind and he shoves, I probably have to call with the ace 4. Probably have to call that. It's 1,000, 2.5 to 1. If we call and win, we have 7K and we can start running people over. If we call and lose, we still have 3,500, so it's not the end of the world. Silly. Should have just chopped that. Alright, good luck, guys. 4 bigs. I'm going with the ace 10. He can have worse aces. He can have worse 10s. He can be drawing dead. And we the chip leader again. Ooh, 5-handed. Good time for some pressure. Speaking of pressure, Wug, Leandro. Wug. If Roadstar folds, I would definitely shove the 3s because Whoop is in second place. So for him to call my all-in, he needs a really good hand. Like, really good. Because it's really bad for him to bubble when he's in second place. But I'm not going to call off with 3s. Even though I'm probably flipping, it's just why risk the 2K when I'm in such comfortable position. And on table 4, I open shove because I don't want camp flatting me out of position when I have so few bigs anyway. I'm just ripping. I'm just going to keep on ripping. I mean, when you have 10 big blinds, there's not much else to do. You just rip. It's rip. Ace. Who wants to be a hero? No one. No one, just give me the 900. Better luck next hand, you know? Like, these guys might even fold better hands than mine because they don't want to call off and have to gamble. Like, calling off is terrible in sit and goes. You want to be shoving. You want to be shoving the chips in. Don't want to be calling. Alright. And there were four, and we were on the literal bubble for heaps. Let's go walk it out, boys. No. Nine deuce. Not worth it. Now I gotta be a bit more cautious because Whoop has me covered. And I'm the guy who's in second place, and on the literal bubble, going out would be disaster. So, speaking of literal bubbles and being in second place, we got another one, and we got two kangs. I know I was talking about open shoving, but this time, since it's the bubble and shit, I want to give Whoop room to try to, move me out if he thinks I'm trying to steal from the old short stack over there. So given that there's a possibility I could induce, I'm just going to raise small here instead of going all in. But dynamics have changed, so it's not like we're in the exact same situation where this suddenly looks super fishy. It's pretty good for our expected value. And now I can pretty much just shove every hand. I'll skip the deuce nine, but after that I'm probably just going to shove every hand because no one's going to want to call off with everyone being short. They want to wait each other out. And even if I get called and lose, I still have all the chips in play. Now that the bubbles burst, that doesn't apply anymore. Oh, the bubble didn't burst. I mean, it effectively did. He can't do anything. He's got to fold with the guy having 230 chips. So I'm shoving this hand for sure. And because there's a guy with 230 chips, they can't. They might not even be able to comment with like kings because it's just not worth the risk. Tag team? Nah. I'll ISO the dead money. 9. Damn. I wanted him to win so the bubble could keep going and I could just chip, 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 chip. Chip, 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 chip. A difference on table 4 is I don't want to let Kampfmeyer reship on me, whereas on table 2 I did want to let the player reship on me. So that's how you decide whether you're just shoving your hands or if you're just raising. I fold, bro. Let's try to close this heads up match out. So. Damn, I guess I should have raised that king 7. I just figured I'd take a hand off and let Kampfmeyer do some work since he's got so many chips. And with him being behind me, sometimes I have to be cautious. Just going to play pot control here. Never folding, but no need to put much money in there on the bubble. Just bet 8. Hope he's got a jack or a queen. Get a little payday. Nay, nay. Queen of die. Queen o' die. Straight. I'm living in here because Kampfmeyer's been playing reasonably passive. Flop a double gut shot, couple overcards, definitely going to lead at that. And now I have the nuts. And he's passive, so we got to just keep betting. This time I feel like I have too many chips to risk shoving and getting snapped off by Camfin, so I'm just raising smaller so that if he comes over the top I can fold, but I'm definitely not folding to the short stack. Damn Roadstar. I wish he would have bet smaller, and I definitely call. Like, I'm not buying it, but he could have been trapping. It's like a check shove too, is a semi bluff. 5-out draw. Playing for $40 here. This is a real deal. Man. I hate folding so much and letting him get in the game. I feel like I should just be putting a lot of pressure on him. Pretty brutal hands. Kampfmeyer should not be limping there. Blind versus blind, he should be putting this guy all in. You don't give the short stack free flops, especially on the bubble. Got to take one aggressive action in this heads-up match. Paired board, less likely that he hit than if it was a rainbow board. Alright, I'll take a queen. You got a king. I got 3 queens, which you got second place. That's what. Champion. They make it sound real nice. You know what? I think I'm just going to leave that open. Might even bigger screen it. I call. Jeej. Alright, money to second tournament. Chip leader. Let's see if we can be duo champions. Looks like we'll probably be heads up in about one hand because Eric has no chips. Just put them all in here. You want to join the party camp? Make it a little 3-way check down. Eric, you're in the money, bro. Take the pot odds. That was a bad fold no matter what he had. On the bubble, it's fine to make those kind of folds, but once you're already in the money, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by gambling. You gotta just throw caution to the wind and take a shot. Champion. Ooh, queen, queen. Raise. Small, so we don't lose him. Don't want to make it so big that he runs away. He's really passive, so he probably won't bet at it, so... Oh, he's got a piece. Nope. Maybe we can just end it right here. King's a scare card, but I mean, if he has a 10, he's going to be getting like 3-1 on the river. I'll probably call anyway, and if he's got a king, unlucky for us. Oh, God, why can't... Just call, bro. Alright, all in. Probably fold this if shoved on. Cash 3 out of 4 tournaments. That's pretty good. Queen is greater than king. Lesson of the day. Queen 5, that's the hand I had too, right? If you're trapping me, cool. I got a king. And I think he's raising with any hands that have an ace. So, just put the pressure on. That's a good hand. Oh, you raise? Well, I re-raise. Thoughts? All in? Call. Queen is greater than king, not greater than ace. And I am the champion of this tournament too. Not bad. Okay, no, we will not play again, but we will go ahead and refresh the bankroll. Where to lobby at? Lobby. Don't exist. Partypoker trying to crash again. Alright, well, the bankroll is now over $200. So, whoever suggested me playing some sit and goes, thanks for the advice. Hope you guys enjoyed the content, learned something from it. As always, please leave your comments on the video, email all requests to evan@grips.com, and like us on Facebook if you have an account and you can find the time. We really appreciate your support. This has been Evan for Grips.com. Now it's your turn. Go out there and get stacking.